Imagine living inside an airport terminal for 18 years. No home, no privacy, just rows of chairs, fluorescent lights, and announcements echoing every hour. This is the unbelievable true story of Mehran Karimi Nasseri, the man who lived in Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport from 1988 to 2006. Nasseri was born in Iran in 1945. In the late 1970s, political unrest forced him to flee his home country. He sought asylum in Europe, and after a long process, he was granted refugee status by the United Nations. But here's where things took a bizarre turn. While traveling from Belgium to the UK, Nasseri lost his documents, either stolen or misplaced, depending on the account. When he landed at London's Heathrow Airport, he was denied entry. And since he had no papers to prove his status, he couldn't go anywhere else either. He was eventually sent back to Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. That's where he got stuck. Terminal 1 became his home, a red bench in the corner, his bed, an old suitcase, his closet. The airport staff nicknamed him Sir Alfred, after he began referring to himself by that name. Over the years, he became a part of the terminal's ecosystem, welcomed by cleaners, shop workers, and security guards. Every day, he would wash in the public restrooms, eat food donated by airport workers, and spend hours writing in his diary, reading philosophy, or observing people. In a way, Nasseri became a ghost in the machine, a man caught in a legal limbo the world didn't know how to fix. Over time, the media caught wind of his story. He became an international curiosity. Journalists from around the globe came to interview him. Incredibly, his story inspired Steven Spielberg's 2004 film The Terminal, starring Tom Hanks. But despite the movie's fame, Nasseri remained in Terminal 1. Eventually, after 18 long years, France granted him residency in 2006. But after so long in isolation, freedom wasn't easy. He was reluctant to leave the only home he'd known for nearly 2 decades. When he did, he briefly lived in a shelter, before quietly fading from the public eye. In November 2022, Mehran Karimi Nasseri returned to the airport once more. This time, it was his final stop. He passed away in the very terminal that had defined most of his life, a poetic end to one of the strangest chapters in modern history. Nasseri's life raises deep questions. What does it mean to belong somewhere? How do we define home? And what happens when the system loses track of a person? His was not just a story of exile, but of quiet endurance, and a strange kind of peace found in the most unlikely place. This was the story of the man who lived in an airport for 18 years, a life in transit that left a permanent mark on the world. Subscribe for more real-life stories that are stranger than fiction, like hit the bell and share your thoughts in the comments.